Welcome to Africa on Arts TV. Each week, Africa will highlight news, information, and views to reveal the true color of the continent. Stay with us. Lesotho Prime Minister Thomas Tebe has formally resigned more than a week after his alliance government fell apart in a move that could help in the long-running political crisis in the country. He had formally handed in his resignation to the top traditional leader of the tiny mountains kingdom. Thomas, the leader of ABC Party, was facing mountainous pressure to step down over a case in which he and his current wife are suspected of involvement in the 2017 murder of his previous wife. They both denied this. The embattled prime minister had promised in January to retire due to an old age. The finance minister is expected to replace him. Félix Kabuye, a key Rwandan genocide fugitive, is due to appear before a Paris court days after police swoop on his hideout in the suburb of the French capital. The 84-year-old is accused of financing Hutu militants that massacred some 800,000 Tutsis and their moderate Hutu alliance over a span of 100 days in 1994. He was a Hutu businessman and one of Rwanda's wealthiest people, was indicated in 1997 on 7 criminal courts including genocide. At today's hearing, which is procedural, the court will set out legal procedure before passing the case to investigative judges who will decide whether to hand him over to United Nations Court handling alleged criminal against humanity. Riek Machar, South Sudan's former rebel leader and its first vice president, have tested positive for COVID-19, the disease caused by novel coronavirus. Machar's wife, Minister of Defense Angelina Tay, and a number of his office staff and bodyguard have also been infected. Machar have issued a public statement declaring that he is found positive and self-quarantined in his residence for the next 14 days. Nigerian filmmakers have created a 90-second animation to help children understand why they have to stay indoors to help stem the spread of the coronavirus. First made in English and 3 Nigerian languages, it has been shared for free online and dubbed into languages spoken across the globe. The animated short tells the story of Habi and his older sister. Habi gets bored of staying indoors and tries to sneak out the house to play soccer. He is warned by his sister, who tells him about coronavirus and its danger. Burundi has blocked social media platform on an election day as voters chooses to a leader replace a long-serving president. Only those using virtual private network VPN, which marks users' identity, can access the social media sites. The authority have not responded to the request for the comment. The build-up the poll, in which 7 candidates are vying to replace the current president, have been marred by violences and accusations that the vote will not be free and fair. The Electoral Commission have approved representatives from 53 foreign embassies, including some from African Union, as poll observer. The president will be stepping down after 15 years, but he will transition to a newly created position, Supreme Guide of Patriotism. Ethiopia's central bank have issued a directive limiting cash withdrawal for individuals and businesses. It is said the move is aiming at tackling tax evasion and encouraging a more effective using cash. Under the directive, individual Ethiopians cannot withdraw more than 200,000 birr, equivalent to $5,800 a day. The ceiling for a total withdrawal in a month have also been set to 1 million birr, equivalent to $29,000 as person. Business-related withdrawals among higher around $8,000 per day and close to $74,000 per month. The bank governor said the move would help manage liquidity for finance institutions and that banks and creditor companies that breaches this limit would be penalized. Ethiopia is a cash-heavy economy, and the move may impact transactions for small businesses as they adapt the new measure. Some experts also believe that the timing of the announcement is unhelpful as the country is grasping with the economic impact of the coronavirus epidemic. Cameroon's 87-year-old President Paul Biya have made a television address to the nation, ending more than 2 months of silence as a Central African country dealt with increasing coronavirus cases. Paul's long silence was supported as a sign of gravity, but for critics of one failure. He urges people to respect measures taken by the government, such as the obligatory of wearing masks. He also asks them not to give in to panic and not to believe false information put by the social networks. As Muslims around the world bid farewell to the Muslim fasting month of Ramadan, they also prepare for the festival of Eid al-Fitr. The occasion will be affected this year as nations around the world take measures to curb the coronavirus pandemic, including the suspension of Eid prayers, outdoor festivals, and other celebratory events. Like Ramadan, Eid al-Fitr began with the sighter of the crescent moon, a day after a new moon, so Muslims have to wait until the evening before Eid to verify its date. Its crescent moon is not visible, Ramadan continues for another day. Because of its lunar event, the date of the Eid changes annually, one of the Gregorian calendar, and varies from country to country depending on the geographical location. To declare the start of Eid, Muslim majority countries depend on the testimony of a local moon sighters. The local religious authorities then announces when Eid will be taking place. Muslims across the world began Eid celebration by partaking in communal post-Quran prayers. The prayer takes place in a mosque or large hall, but in many countries it's also held in an open to accommodate the large number. People congratulate one another after Eid prayers. They spend the day visiting relatives and neighbors and accepting sweets as to move from house to house. Children dressed in new clothes are offered gifts and money to celebrate the joyful occasion. This year, Eid prayers have been cancelled in several Muslim countries amid the coronavirus pandemic, including Oman and Egypt. Festival and public celebration on Eid will also be banned in many parts of the Muslim world as nations struggle to contain the spread of the COVID-19. Eid Mubarak to all Muslims around the world. We hope you enjoy our program. If you have any question or suggestion, you can use our social media platform or you can use our SMS 6121. I'm your host, Bethlehem Baharan. Till next week, stay safe.